Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another weekly update on DCS World. Well, let's look at the first aircraft here, which is the A-10C II. Now, I have talked about this previously, and I know a lot of you have mixed opinions about this in terms of having to pay for a module that effectively exists in the game. Now, they are working right now on an extensive amount of beta testing, both internal and external. This includes also operational pilots giving feedback on the flight model, and changes will be made and adjustments will be made as required. They're also working on new weaponry for the aircraft as part of this update, and it includes the APKWS laser-guided Mavericks and bombs. So yeah, the aircraft is going to be a little bit different from what we currently have. I don't think it's going to be a massively different thing. This is born about, if my understanding is correct, from a military client that Eagle Dynamics has, and there were needs to make some adjustments to the way the aircraft is used and some of the weapons that they have currently, and so as a result of that, they did some rejigging to the existing module. And I guess some people would argue, well, if the military are paying for that, why do we have to? Because it's already being done. Obviously, Eagle Dynamics is a for-profit business. They're going to pass on the trickle-down effect to us, but it's going to have to be paid for. And if you want it, you buy it. Supply and demand. That's how these things work. Nothing comes for very much, at least for free these days. So yeah, I know some of you have mixed opinions about that. I don't have a problem with what they've done here. It will be offered at a discount. I just don't know what that discount will be. I would imagine it would be a good one. They said a substantial discount, so probably, yeah, I don't want to guess, because if it's less than $30, I'll be surprised. If it is, then that's a good surprise. Nevertheless, I'm looking forward to what they're offering here. I think the A-10 is an exceptional module. There's no question about that. It's not as fast, obviously, as the other jets, so getting from A to B is a little bit slow, but it flies very nicely. And the aircraft is one of the more impressive ones in the the military, the U.S. military's arsenal. The aircraft is well proven in combat. The things it can do, it is a beast of a machine, and it provides an incredible close support role for military operations and troops and tanks and things in the area, along with the numerous helicopters that we also have doing similar kinds of work. Yeah, if you're looking to check out more on this, there's actually a really good podcast from the Fighter Pilot podcast with Jello, interviewing some helicopter pilots, including an Apache pilot that was done over the last couple of weeks. Some really good stuff there if you want to listen to, how close air support roles work in the military. Then those things are well worth listening to, and why these aircraft are critical components to the the fighting that does occur structurally. Support-wise, this is a phenomenal aircraft. So, all right, we could wax lyrical about that for quite a while, but we'll move on to the MiG-21 here, which has also received some love as follows. Now, there's been a long-awaited update to the cockpit mesh of the MiG-21, which was finalized and substantially improved the precision of the cockpit geometry, which will be obviously beneficial to VR users. Now, these visual improvements were followed by a new flight model, as well as avionics and weapons systems enhancements, such as the recalibration of all the instruments, which is pretty cool. Now, there is some issues here with the ground clutter, which causes performance degradation when the RP-22 SMA radar is used in low-level flight, and they haven't resolved this yet, so there are some bugs with this aircraft, unfortunately. They have made small corrections to the lift coefficient at lower Mach numbers, and they have also done a really cool thing here. This is pretty sophisticated in my opinion, but they've added structural damage which can be caused by exceeding the G-load limits. It's now dynamically calculated depending on the aircraft weight, which is pretty cool. They've added, of course, navigation data for DCS Syria, and as well as a number of new missions. There's been an overhaul of almost all of the air-to-air missiles, and this is also in progress. So A lot of work gone into this aircraft, which is really, really cool. Now, they are experimenting with more realistic rendering technology for the ASP gun sight and the RP-22 SMA radar, as mentioned. Magnitude 3, which is responsible for this aircraft, has actually expanded the I can't say this word right now, leather neck simulation team, who are working, of course, on the MiG-21 and also 2 other projects, which I believe I've mentioned previously. So stay tuned for more news on that. All right, the Mi-8, here's the last part of the news this week. Crew Part 1, excuse me, a new crew campaign from Stone Sky is available for the Mi-8. Now, it's set in the extremes of northern Russia. This campaign will test your skills at all stages of flight. Experience the immersive atmosphere of the Arctic on Bolshevik Island in the Caucasus, where the Mi-8 helicopter is still a demanded transportation mode. Your base is situated at the Solishnaya Polar Station refinery complex within the territory of, and if I can say this correctly, which is going to be a challenge, Severnaya Semlya. If my Russian viewers can help me out with a little bit of that translation. Severnaya Semlya. I think that's how you say it. My Russian is not brilliant. Sometimes the pronunciation is a little off. So help me out if you can there. Pretty cool. I enjoy the Russian language, as I enjoy many, many languages. I find the languages very, very interesting, but sometimes I, struggle a little bit with the translation there from the English background that I have. My New Zealand accent sometimes has trouble, getting these things right. Anyway, what they say here, complete day and nighttime exercises that are still in use by the Russian Army aviation will be available. You get to destroy ground targets and combat training flights and lead combat missions, which require perfect management to ensure a safe return to base. Pretty cool. They have voiced radio messages in English and Russian, which give an insight into the civil aviation work carried out in the Arctic. Your adventure awaits, they say here. This campaign requires, you'll be surprised to know, knowledge of navigation equipment, avionics, and here's the big caveat, helicopter control. Surprise, surprise. So the helicopters, of course, are very, very challenging to fly, and it's a completely different experience than flying the fixed-wing aircraft. So it lends itself to a whole new set of challenges. So I hope... let me know what you think. We're actually looking pretty good for helicopters right now. We have confirmation of the Apache, of course. They are working on the Hind. We know that the Kiowa is coming out here by Polychop. Polychop also has the Gazelle already in the game. We have the Magnificent 8. We've got the Black Shark. And, of course, that we have the Huey as well. So we've got quite a smorgasbord, really, of aircraft. Let me know what you're looking forward to in the Whirlybirds department. Will it be the Hind? Will it be the Apache? Or is it one of the other pre-existing ones? Maybe it's the Kiowa that's coming out. There's lots of stuff to choose from there, and I'm very, very excited as to how these aircraft are going to be inserted into the game, especially with the concept of a dynamic campaign coming up. It's going to lend itself to all sorts of cool and interesting things to do, especially if you want to buddy up with people maybe and work on a more comprehensive sort of set of missions. But lots of work to be done by Eel Dynamics too, in terms of making sure that all of these things can be modeled in the game without the whole game slowing to single frames, which is an issue with the the multi-core processors that we have right now that the game is not fully taking advantage of. So now RAZBAM, as I mentioned them earlier, RAZBAM has been doing some really interesting things. So I'll leave up some images of that. And let me know what your thoughts are on that. And also, let me know, of course, this week it was revealed that NVIDIA is throwing out, and I had mentioned this a while back too, that I was looking forward to this, 30 series graphics cards. And these graphics cards appear to be cheaper than the 20 series that was released a couple of years ago, and have been sort of the benchmark for GPUs in PC gaming for a while now. But the 30 series seems to have blown those out of the water. You're already seeing a sort of reduction in the prices of the 20 series cards. On that basis, gaming is going to be turned on its head a little bit here. Now, of course, these new graphics cards will certainly run DCS no problem. Whether we get benefit from that, it's going to be have to be determined yet. But it does bode well for Eagle Dynamics, who are looking at improving the capability of the game engine. So I'm hoping that there is some degree of optimization for these new cards, because I think they're going to be a new benchmark for modern graphics for the next few years. So stand by, let me know what you're thinking. Are you anticipating buying one? I'm really eager to get my hands on a 3080 right now. I own a 1080 right now, which is almost redundant. It's not doing what I want it to do, and it should be doing a little bit more, but I think it's just this ray tracing and all these other multi-threading type capabilities at least, of these new graphics cards. Yeah, the world's an exciting place right now for flight simulation. So alright, I think that's enough waffle for this week. I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps this channel chug along. I need all the help I can get right now. I'm going to continue bringing you the videos as best I can. Summer is winding down for me, so hopefully I can devote a little bit more time and get a few more videos out there during the course of the week to keep you entertained and stuff, and maybe do a little bit of tutorial stuff as best I can. I haven't got the time for that right now, but stay tuned. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Carry on flying. We'll see you next time, guys. This is Prickly Hedgehog out. We'll see you around. Cheers.